Fake information spreads faster than COVID-19. We have the latest facts on our lead report coming up next.
More schools are planning to close, and this time it's not just colleges and universities.
Tuesday was another big day for the Democratic primaries. Find out which candidate is currently in the lead.
Showers are persisting through San Diego County. More in weather. Newscene starts now.
Welcome to this week's edition of Newscene. My name is Susana Serrano.
And I'm Zach Wilson.
Misleading information is spreading faster than the virus outbreak. Jesus Lopez will give us the facts we need to know. Jesus?
Thank you, Susana and Zach. We start with breaking news. President Donald Trump has declared a federal state of emergency in response to the coronavirus pandemic. This means that federal and state officials have urged employees to work from home, cancel conferences, and postpone large events. Officials at all levels believe misleading information is spreading faster than COVID-19. Trump ramped up his response midweek with an Oval Office address to the nation on Wednesday night. That address, he announced a ban on all flights from Europe, but not the UK.
After consulting with our top government health professionals, I have decided to take several strong but necessary actions to protect the health and well-being of all Americans. To keep new cases from entering our shores, we will be suspending all travel from Europe to the United States for the next 30 days. The new rules will go into effect Friday at midnight.
That statement caused among the U.S. citizens and permanent residents overseas chaos. That detail came only after the speech ended, and that came from lead officials like Vice President Mike Pence, who was left to clear up the confusion.
I don't think there was confusion. The president took another historic step, just like he did in January with China, to suspend all travel from Europe. And Americans coming home will be funneled through 13 different airports. They'll be screened, and then we're going to ask every American and legal resident returning to the United States to self-quarantine for 14 days.
Coronavirus is a respiratory illness that has proven to spread easily. The CDC reports about 1,000 cases in the U.S. The highest number is in Washington State, with New York and California close behind. Reported about 150 cases. Locally, we have 5 confirmed new positive cases of coronavirus. Health officials say wash your hands frequently and please keep in social distancing, which means put at least 3 feet between you and anyone coughing or sneezing. Officials also ask you to practice respiratory hygiene. That means to cover your mouth with your bent elbow when coughing or sneezing. This is the most important fact of them all. Stay informed, but don't panic. Panic leads to misinformation, and there's a lot of it out there. That's all with Lead. I'm Jesus Lopez. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you, Jesus. COVID-19 has officially been declared a pandemic. The World Health Organization made the announcement earlier this week. It came after the coronavirus spread to multiple countries, including the U.S. and China, and killed over 4,000 people. The last time the organization declared a pandemic was in 2009 with the H1N1 virus, also known as swine flu.
The entire country of Italy has been on lockdown this week. Schools, businesses, and tourist sites are closed, and sporting events all over Italy have been canceled. Travel restrictions are in place, and there are bans on public gatherings. The lockdown is scheduled until April 3rd and is estimated to have impacted over 60 million people. Italy is still considered the hardest hit by coronavirus outside of China.
Former Vice President Joe Biden is pulling ahead of Bernie Sanders in the Democratic presidential primaries. Biden won 4 states in the most recent Super Tuesday that included Michigan, which is a key swing state with a large number of delegates. Biden also won Mississippi, Idaho, and Missouri. Exit polls suggest that Biden is popular with the working class voters, African Americans, and voters over 65.
To all those who have been knocked down, to all those who have been counted out, left behind, this is your campaign. Just over a week ago, many of the pundits declared that this candidacy was dead. Now we're very much alive.
The U.S. has conducted a defensive airstrike against multiple Iranian-backed militia sites Thursday evening. These strikes targeted 5 weapons storage facilities across Iraq. The strike was a response to recent attacks nearby. Rockets impacted a coalition military base north of Baghdad, and 3 Allied service members, including 2 Americans, were killed in those attacks.
Russian parliament has passed an amendment that could keep Vladimir Putin in his presidency until 2036. It's now up to the voters. They will get their say on the matters in a national vote on April 22nd. It would reset Putin's presidential terms limit, allowing him to run for 2 more 6-year terms. The Russian president is currently the longest acting leader since Joseph Stalin.
5 American politicians have self-quarantined after coming in contact with someone diagnosed with COVID-19. They all had interacted with the individual at the Conservative Political Action Conference. The group includes Senator Ted Cruz of Texas and Mark Meadows of North Carolina, President Trump's next chief of staff. Prior to the quarantines, Meadows and Representative Matt Gaetz from Florida, who is also under quarantine, later interacted with Trump.
And New York's governor has announced drastic new steps to control the spread of the coronavirus. State officials implemented a 1-mile radius containment area in a New York suburb called New Rochelle. Schools are closed and other large gatherings are canceled for 2 weeks. The first drive-through testing center is open now.
Drive-through testing means people in this community can call a telephone number, make an appointment, and they can come to be tested and literally drive through the testing facilities.
The stock market is feeling the pain of the coronavirus outbreak and has seen its worst drops in decades. A day after Trump announced the travel ban from Europe, the Dow fell 10%. The S&P was not far behind. It was the worst day since Black Monday in 1987.
Many events at City College are changing. Find out what events are being affected.
Coronavirus is scoring points all over the world of sports. Find out more in sports.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. This is unacceptable, and something Feeding America is working to solve. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States, including yours. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
The state's largest school districts, including right here in San Diego, are announcing closures. San Diego and Los Angeles Unified School Districts, the largest in California, will close on Monday because of the coronavirus threat. Together, the district teach more than 750,000 students. UC San Diego, SDSU, and USD have all announced plans to convert classes to online.
California voters have rejected the $15 billion bond $15 billion bond, to renovate schools in California. Prop 13 promised to provide funds for new construction on campuses statewide needing repairs. Prop 13 needed a simple majority vote to pass, but the no vote quickly led to after the March 3 election.
And here at San Diego City College, the list of events being canceled due to concerns of COVID-19 is growing. Several events have been canceled so far, and most of them are conferences. Next week's Social Justice Conference and the City Women Rocks event are both canceled. This is to prevent exposure to other and transmissions of the virus. Additional events are being reviewed to see if they will continue or cancel.
It's not just COVID-19 threatening college campuses. A case of tuberculosis has been confirmed at Southwestern College in Chula Vista. San Diego's Health and Human Services Agency announced on Tuesday that people may have been exposed to TB from early September to mid-February. As of now, it is unclear as to whether the case comes from a student or a faculty member.
As four-year universities bring their study abroad students home early, City College is canceling its international programs. The program was scheduled for the summer. The trips canceled included Havana, Cuba, and San Jose, Costa Rica. Mesa College also canceled its program to Madrid, Spain. The cancellations is to prevent contact and spread of the virus.
Passengers continue to disembark from the Grand Princess cruise ship that docked in Oakland, and more than 400 have arrived here in San Diego. The fifth group arrived at Miramar late last night for a 14-day quarantine. 3 passengers from a previous voyage tested positive for the coronavirus. That led to California's first reported COVID-19 death. In a tweet posted on Thursday, Princess Cruises announced it will suspend operations for 60 days.
San Diego County is taking preventative measures against the coronavirus in areas where homeless people gather. Hand-washing stations are being placed in more than 80 locations around the county. According to the CDC, washing hands with soap and water is the most effective method of preventing COVID-19. County officials are also planning to distribute supply kits and educate those without a home about the coronavirus threat.
Restaurants are doing everything possible to stay open in the midst of COVID-19. The National Restaurant Association has recommended giving customers hand sanitizers and tissues. Restaurant employees are regularly cleaning handles and other surfaces. If things get worse, one franchise owner of Wendy's and Taco Bell plans to close the dining spaces, leaving only the drive-thru open.
COVID-19 seems to be dictating all things sports. Noelle, what can you tell us?
Thanks, Susanna and Zach. Bad news for basketball fans. Before a single bracket could be filled, March Madness has been canceled. The NCAA has said it will be canceling the men's and women's basketball tournaments due to the coronavirus pandemic. Originally, there were plans to play without fans in the arena, but now it is believed to be too risky. The plan is an effort to stop the spread of the virus. The shocking news is hurting basketball fans here in San Diego. The number 6 ranked men's Aztec team are coming off a hot season and expecting to perform at top level during the tournament. Many SDSU students shared their sadness about the cancellation of March Madness.
Yeah, I'm really bummed that March Madness was canceled. I'm a big basketball fan, and especially SDSU was favored to win, so it's a big disappointment not being able to go to the games or see them play.
I mean, it's good they're taking health precautions, but I really wanted to see them play this year.
They will still be televised for fans at home, though. And the huge news is not limited to the college ranks. It has now been confirmed that Utah Jazz player Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert have both tested positive for coronavirus. The news came after the NBA's decision to suspend the entire season. It all started seconds before the tip-off of Wednesday night's game between the Utah Jazz and the Oklahoma City Thunder. The team's doctor for the Jazz came sprinting out to the court to speak to officials. The game was stopped and players were rushed back to the locker rooms. Gobert was not at the game while all of this was happening, but the Jazz were quarantined inside the Chesapeake Energy Arena in Oklahoma City for the remainder of the night. Many players have been posting on social media about the suspension. LeBron James took to Twitter saying that we should cancel 2020 as a whole. Steph Curry also put out there that, quote, 2020 ain't it, that we must protect ourselves. CJ McCollum of the Portland Trail Blazers pushed fellow NBA players to use this time to find jobs and steady income outside of the basketball world. And as of Thursday, almost every major sports league has canceled their season. The NBA was first after the discovery of the COVID-19 case among its players. Following it was the MLS and the NHL, which are both having their seasons suspended indefinitely. Major League Baseball then announced it will be suspending spring training and opening day to the pandemic. As of right now, the only spring Major League sports continuing to play will be the PGA and the UFC. They will continue their matches, but without no fans in the attendance. That's all I have from the world of sports. Back to you at the desk.
Several theme parks are reacting to COVID-19. Find out which parks are either closing or staying open.
A big Hollywood star has something important to say about COVID-19. Details and more coming up.
Please have a seat. I'll be honest. Your resume is not what I'm used to.
I know.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need a hard worker.
Good. I've got 2 part-time jobs and to help my parents pay the bills.
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find, cultivate, and train a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Due to overwhelming demand, Costco is limiting the number of items shoppers can buy amid COVID-19 fears. Customers are limited in buying toilet paper, paper towels, and bottled water. The problem isn't just at Costco either. Target, Amazon, and Walmart have nearly sold out of toilet paper online. It's unclear when products will restock.
And theme parks all over Southern California are closing in light of COVID-19. Disneyland and Disney's California Adventure will be closing tomorrow through the end of this month. It's not just the Disney parks either. Universal Studios, Hollywood, Six Flags Magic Mountain, Knott's Berry Farm, and SeaWorld have also shut down. But not every park has made the same decision. Legoland California will continue to stay open.
The cost of the coronavirus on conventions and conferences here in San Diego is rising fast. 4 conferences have been canceled in a matter of days at the convention center due to COVID-19 concerns. One convention still on is Comic-Con. Representatives say they will continue to monitor the situation closely for any changes.
With details on events that are affected, we now turn to Alistair standing by. What can you tell us, Alistair?
Thanks, Susanna and Zach. We start tonight with Academy Award winner Tom Hanks and his wife Rita Wilson sharing some shocking news this week. The two have announced that they have tested positive for the coronavirus. The couple was working on a film in Australia about Elvis Presley when they came down with symptoms. On an Instagram post, Hanks described feeling fatigued and feverish before getting tested. They will remain in isolation for as long as necessary. Their son, Chet Hanks, took to Twitter Wednesday, having this to say.
It's true. My parents got coronavirus. Crazy. They're both down in Australia right now because my dad was shooting a movie down there. But I just got off the phone with them. They both are fine. They're not even that sick. They're not worried about it. They're not tripping, but they're going through the necessary health precautions, obviously. But I don't think it's anything to be too worried about. I appreciate everyone's concern and the well wishes, but I think it's all going to be all right.
Warner Brothers agreed, saying that protecting members of its production is a top priority. And coronavirus is taking its toll on the wider entertainment world. It's game over for E3 and other big conventions. This year's Electronic Entertainment Expo has unfortunately been canceled, E3 offering full refunds and going to Twitter mentioning a plan about a digital experience to replace it. But it isn't the only event to be affected by the massive outbreak. Many large-scale group events have either been canceled or postponed, including festivals, grand openings, bicycle tours, and international vacations. Several films such as Fast and the Furious and A Quiet Place 2 have had a postponed release date in response. Any plans to travel to a crowded location? Make sure it's a safe environment and that you're taking the necessary precautions. Growing concerns of further spread of COVID-19 has caused many large-scale group events to be postponed or even canceled this week. Music festivals like Coachella and even Stagecoach, as well as celebrity tours, have been canceled or postponed in the wake of the pandemic. San Diego theaters, festivals, graduations, ceremonies, gun shows, and marathons, including Del Mar's first robotic regional competition, are under pressure to close or cancel. Carnivals have also been hit with cancellations and rain checks due to the nationwide emergency. While some are creating backup plans for the inconvenience, many are pushing dates further away in hopes to prevent COVID-19 from spreading any further. If you have any plans to join any organized event, we recommend that you check to make sure that it's still scheduled to run, at least through the end of March. That's all I have for entertainment. I'm Alistair Newell. Back to you at the desk.
A potential break from the rain in the coming days? Stay tuned for weather to find out more.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's already been a wet week, San Diego, and there's more on the way. A series of Pacific storms is forecasted to impact our coast with more heavy rains and gusty winds. A flash flood watch is in effect. Remember, it only takes 12 inches of moving water to carry a small car away. Over 50% of deaths during flash floods occur in vehicles driving through flooded roadways. Remember, turn around, don't drown.
It was during those rains this week that a San Diego woman died after being swept away in a drainage canal. Authorities say the 68-year-old woman was the passenger in an SUV that crashed into a creek beside the 8 freeway. The woman escaped but was dragged by the creek's current to Santee, nearly 5 miles from the initial crash. She was pronounced dead at the hospital.
And now, over to Ben with the latest in weather.
Thank you, Susanna and Zach. Now, right here, we'll be going over what we're going to be discussing today. Showers throughout the county, unfortunately, it's going to keep going on. Although there's going to be a potential break later on this week, that's going to be very fortunate for us. I'll stay tuned, so I can tell you about that. And cold weather is going to be the norm for the next couple of days as well, so be prepared for that kind of thing. So moving on, here current temperatures along the coast and along coast, inland, and mountains. We're going to be getting lots of showers all throughout. 61 degrees as the high for the coast. Inland, we're going to be getting around 62 degrees. Mountains, 43. However, the interesting thing to me anyway is the desert. We're going to be getting just a little bit of sun there and a high of 68 degrees. So it's going to be a little bit warmer out there for all you folks who live out in the desert. However, water is still going to be a thing that you're going to have to factor into your time. So, national forecast right here on the East Coast, we're seeing that there's a lot of low pressure up on the high side right there. A lot of high pressure right here down in Florida as well. So, look out for that if you're down there. And there's also a lot of rain going out throughout the entire USA. So, keep that in mind when you're planning for any potential breaks or trips or anything that you might want to do. However, staying indoors might be the wiser pick given all the rain and given the coronavirus pandemic at the moment. Now, see here on the West Coast, lots of low pressure right here. Down here in San Diego, especially lots of rain. Severe thunderstorms are down in Texas. You're going to want to look out for that. Any relatives or anything, make sure you let them know so that they're not stranded out there. Don't end up like that poor lady. As was discussed earlier. So today's temperatures, ocean side is going to be around 60 degrees. A whole lot of the West Coast cities are going to be around 60, so just a bit of an average out there we can do. Towards the mountains, out in Julian, out in down in Descanso, out in Mount Laguna, a lot low 40s, so very cold over there. So bring a jacket if you're planning on visiting that area up there. You don't want to be cold or anything like that. Down here, 50 degrees, give or take. And right here, central San Diego, 60s once again. So, very, very cold all throughout. Bring a jacket, bring an umbrella, all that sort of thing. All right, then to our 5-day forecast here. On Saturday, we're going to be getting a 57-degree high with a bit of showers. It's not going to be horrible, so, not too bad. 65 degrees on Sunday as well. 65 is the low. Going to be a little sun. That's actually the interesting thing that I want to talk about on Sunday and Monday. We are going to get a little bit of a break from the rain, and unfortunately, that's all the time I've got. Now, back to you at the desk.
Thank you, Ben. Well, it seems like it's going to be raining, but by the end of the weekend, it's going to be sunny. So hopefully there's going to be some better news coming to us rather than just the COVID-19
Yeah,
ones.
with all this rain and the coronavirus, it's making it really hard to go outside,
So yeah, we're really hoping for that sun to come and join us, and that way we will have a better time.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice week to just stay in, play video games, watch Netflix, whatever.
And always remember to stay healthy because we want everyone out there to, be happy. So thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you. I'm Zach Wilson.
And I'm Susana Serrano.